Our next guest is here with us live in the studio. His name is Tawhid Ar-Rahman, and he's a mediator from Salam Mediation. Now, Salam Mediation is a family mediation services, and they're committed to promoting a constructive approach to family issues that considers the whole need of the whole family all in one. So, alhamdulillah, welcome to the show, my wonderful brother, Tawhid.
Wa alaikum
as-salam.
Good to see you.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
Proud to have you here, mashallah.
Thank you.
Brother,
Thank you very much.
mediation,
Yes.
you know, it's a delicate topic.
It is.
How did you get into that profession?
Well, I wasn't aware of mediation. I came into it simply because my own personal breakdown of my marriage. This is a number of years ago. It's 15 years ago when my family breakdown. I couldn't see my son, so I had to understand the process, legal processes and so on. And I didn't feel going through the solicitor's route was the right thing to do. And I wasn't able to see my son the way a father should see. After 4 years of amicable solutions, looking at amicably resolving it, it didn't resolve. So I ended up applying to the family court and litigating my own case and getting access to my child. Alhamdulillah, shukr Allah, this has been great. Since many years ago, we have an amicable, good relationship with my ex-partner, and it's beautiful. My son has 2 homes and we travel together extensively. As I mentioned before, I'm a documentary photographer, but we travel together and do father and son things, and he has 2 homes. So that led me into understanding what's going on in the communities, and then I started helping other people, because going through courts and going through solicitors, it's a very expensive process and painful one indeed. So I ended up helping other people sorting out their finances in court and child arrangement issues as a Mackenzie friend. So going to court, sitting with them, helping them filling in the application form, how to write the statements, because it's important to do it in a correct way. The court isn't interested about you or father or the mother. The court is really interested in the child and doing the best you can for the child and focusing on the child, not any other issues. There are always issues in a family breakdown. So ended up helping for almost 9-10 years. Individuals going through their finances, helping their finances, because a finance court could take you up between, if you apply to the family court for the finances, you could spend between 30 and 50,000 pounds per side. Wow. And for child arrangement issues, you could be spending 15 to 30,000 pounds, and there are people that spend 80,000 pounds and still couldn't see their child. So there are all sorts of issues and so on. So that led me into family mediation. And about 4 years ago, I retrained myself as a family court mediator, and then pursued this to help the community. And there is a real need in our community to help people to see their children, father to be active and involved father, mother to receive support from the father, and have an amicable solution to our breakdowns and finances.
So we have obviously these unfortunate situations that people end up in. Now, naturally, there needs to be like some sort of Islamic background to how we deal with separations. And then obviously when you go to UK laws and courts, there's obviously the system that you're following here. So what you're doing is bringing that sort of professionally trained mediator with your experience as well. Is that right? Indeed. And is there like the Islamic element that you bring into this as well?
I have trained myself, studied the Sharia principles. I don't do advice. I don't give any advice. As a mediator, I cannot give advice. Yeah. But in terms of Sharia side of things, I'm aware of it, but I don't bring into it. But if somebody asks me about talaq or khul or this or any other such issues, I'm aware of it, and different schools of thought, because I did the courses, and I think you should be familiar with the subjects that you're dealing with. Yeah. So I am aware, and I point them to the right direction, where to go and where to get the right advices. So, but as a mediator, I cannot. But when it comes to Islamic side of things, as a mediator, you only deal with the breakup of the marriage from the family court system. I don't, as a mediator, we have to remember, I'm not bringing couples together. Yeah. My job is to have an amicable separation, sorting out their finances, sorting out the divorces, and sorting out the child arrangement issues.
And somebody who's not like on both sides, somebody who's not on one side
Indeed,
is actually
yes.
on both sides.
Whereas the
trying to help.
solicitor is vested in looking for one side's interest, and they rightfully so, they should do that. As a mediator, because at the moment, no one can apply to the family court without going through the mediation process. So they have to consider what known as the MIA Mediation Information Assessment Meeting, then they can apply to the family court as a part of the application process. So they need to do that. But sooner or later, mediation, at the moment, is voluntary. The couples deciding they can say that they want to be mediated or not. But later on, hopefully in the future, it will become mandatory for people to mediate, because court isn't the solution. Court isn't where you, do you want your child to be decided by a judge where they should live? It's the parents' decision. You know, they should know their children better. That's what courts want. That's what the family court system advises, that you should deal with it in yourself as a parents.
I would imagine it's going to be very hard to do if emotions are quite high and the emotions are quite raw and one side is arguing with the other. It's hard to be calm in that situation, especially where children are involved. And that leads me to the next question. What is the impact in the wider community if people don't seek mediation?
Well, the impact is twofold. It comes in, first of all, the child. The father would not be involved, or the mother in this case, it could be either, would not be involved in the upbringing of the child. Now, think of the child's life and its generations as well. So one party will not take place. Their involvement will be taken out. And this child's whole generation lost a side of the and Islamic impact of that is shivering, it's really worrying. That, and not only mentioned to the society, in the impact on the society. And we see the research suggests that single-parent mothers, single-parent children are problematic. You know, most of the problem comes from the single-parent family. There's no reason. Islam allows us to divorce. Unfortunately, it is not liked. It is, but we need to do it respectfully. We need to have child focus. Child, you know, two people bring a child into this life. Why should the child suffer the love of both parents? That is not right. There is there may be disagreement. There may be serious issues, but child isn't. The child is the most suffering
innocent
person.
victim of
Indeed,
the unfortunate.
yes,
And like you said earlier, the trauma that they're going through, very sad. And but I guess the mediator will try to speed up that process, isn't it?
Yes, right? As a mediator, our job is to be neutral to both parties. We cannot impose any suggestions. We guide them through the process. We do not give advice. We will look at individually first, and then two parties, if they choose to come in between, most of them nowadays are online, so they will be asked to go online. They have an option to remain, so what known as a shuttle mediation. They have an option to speak to me directly, then I speak to them individually, or they can come online together on a Zoom call or such like, and they can discuss their issues and come to an arrangement if it's child related. If it's finance related, we look at the finances side of things, and they come to a mutual agreement, and that agreement can be legally binding afterward. So it's not just mediation and you go on and change your mind. This can be legally binding through the court processes without going to court.
Now, with children in the picture, assets, family bonds, and all the rest of it, what options are open to you and to the family if one side of the family decides not to participate in mediation? What options are there?
They have, as I mentioned, mediation currently voluntary, and the family court system are looking into making it mandatory. Now, up until that time, they can stop any point of mediation. They can stop mediation and they can choose. They can simply say, I don't want to be mediated. They don't need to give any excuse. What they discuss in mediation does not go to court. It's remain closed. So any proposal, any agreement they make in mediation remains in that. If they change and end up in court, if they're not happy with mediation, or if something didn't go right, or they're not happy with the process, they can still apply to the family court process. But it is encouraged, the family court encourages that people do their issues or resolve their issues through amicable means such as mediations.
Now, mediation is totally confidential.
It is,
Any
yes.
information people share stays within
Stays
your
within that
conversations.
process. Unless there is no overriding issue of safety of individuals and such likes.
Okay. Now, if those people that are watching the show, if they want to get in touch, learn a little bit more, or seek your help, that's the main thing. How can they get in touch? What's the website, if you can just share with us?
My website is called Salam Mediation, and they can contact me through the website, and there are all links available. There are plenty of mediators out there. They need to go to FMC, Family Mediation Council. I'm a registered family mediator, so you'll find plenty of mediators out there doing this. As an Asian mediator, Muslim mediator, I come from a slightly different angle. I have a wider understanding of the issues, so that's how I deal with it. And as I mentioned, every mediator are mandated. We have to work within a system, and all of them will do just as great jobs, basically.
Jazakallah khair.
Thank you very much.
Well, may Allah put barakah in what you're doing. May Allah make it easy for everyone who's going through troubles and worries in their life.
Yes.
And Jazakallah for sharing that all with us.
My request to your viewers is that the only thing is just children matters. Please focus on your children. That is a sincere request, because I know what impact it can have on a child, and because we need both parents. I believe both parents should be involved in their children's life, and they have a God-given right to be loved by both.
Absolutely.
So thank you.